Guys, let's say you're getting yourself a Casio dw5600, but there's one small thing that is defining you from getting it. That one small thing is the fact that you are small itself. I know that sounds weird for me to say, but your hands, your wrist is too small. I have a wrist size of 14 to 17 centimeters. Very small, I know. How do I know that? Because I just recently bought this leather bracelet in a extra small at 17.5, and it's still got quite, I think it's about that much of it is still like airflow, basically, like just air, right? So just from that, I think it's quite easy to tell that it's quite small, right? I am quite small, my wrist is quite small, right? But let's say you really want the Casio dw5600. Well, here's one thing that can sort that. Now, of course, Casios are only cheap, about £80 to £100. The F91W, one of the cheapest ones out there, is only £15 nowadays. It was £10 back in the day. Now it's £15. I don't know what the retail price is, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. I forgot what retail is about 10 days ago, because I've not been filming videos. But there's one good thing about Casio, is they're cheap, you know. Even if, let's say it's Casio Edifice, I'm assuming, because it's a link bracelet, it's more than, you know, a couple £100. But no matter what, let's say the Omega Swatch, the Moon Swatch, that is still cheap. For its price, that is a cheap watch for the company it's made by and the collaborator. I'll say it's made by Swatch, collaboration is Omega. Omega watches go for £10,000 sometimes. The most expensive one I've ever held in my life is a £5,620 one, and that was the Omega Seamaster. The cheapest one I've ever held was a £4,000 one. That was the Omega Constellation dress watch. Bear in mind though, guys, watches can be expensive, but let's say for you, £200 is cheap. For someone else, that might be really expensive. You don't really know, right? However, for me, I'd say my price range when it comes to my birthday or Christmas money, I'd say would be about £150 spending money. I think back in the day, I think one time I got £400 for Christmas, which was absolutely ridiculous. But yeah. Now, here is the solution to your worries. Get the Casio dw500. I'll show it up on screen right here. This is basically just a minimalistic version and small version of the Casio dw600. It is, I think it's 42mm in size, case diameter, don't know how much that is. I'm going to assume by default that your lug width is the, I'll show you what the lug width is that is the lug width, the bit where you can replace your strap. Right, that is the lug width. However, guys, there is one thing to keep in mind, is that this watch is the same size as the F9W, just a bit bigger. I'd say bigger by 10mm at least, right? And I want to just rotate the bezel on this. That's right. Yeah, bigger by about just 10mm, I'm gonna say. It's still shock resist. I think if the 6900 ends up being too big for me, I will get the 500 or 5600, because I do a lot of DT work. Yeah, I do a lot of DT work, guys, so that would be a very good thing to do, you know, buy a durable watch. Obviously, the Casio GA2100 that I have right now is durable, but you can't beat a G-Shock. Well, a G-Shock that's no G-Shock. that was made for the reason it was made. That was made for the reason of the fact of the creator of Casio dropped his grandfather's watch one day and it shattered everywhere. And then he made an insanely durable watch. So, if it was me, I would get the Casio dw500. But yeah, I'm just making this video to explain that if you can't get the 5600 because you're a small person, get the 500. See you guys in the next one, and peace out.